Walt Kerttula, Montana Department of Transportation, Equipment Bureau Chief since November. So I called Brian and said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then I did mine the same. So it was interesting how close we were to doing this. So Brad's that guy. I'm the new guy. So new guy at WSHEMA, new president, and actually the new bureau chief in Montana for Equipment Bureau. This is one of our new trucks, just rolled out of the shop. It's a double wing Freightliner, stainless steel box and spreader. Again, parallel lift, plow. So we fab ours also. So just to say a little bit about what we do or how we're set up for our funding. In the accounting world, we're calling an internal service fund. And that means that we charge rental rates for all of our equipment. So I've got 3 fleets that I manage. There's 2 fleets in the state motor pool, and one is the Helena-based pool that Helena state employees, anybody, any agency can come and rent a vehicle from us. And we charge them by the hour, and we charge them by the miles they drive. And then we have a leased fleet, long-term lease fleet, that the state agencies lease for till they're done with it. And they pay, again, an hour and a mileage rate to lease that vehicle. So that's our funding for the state motor pool. So we buy the vehicles, we maintain them, we pay for the fuel, they have a fuel card, we use WEX, and that's where all our funding comes from. The equipment program is the other fleet we have, and that's our heavy duty stuff and light duty that the DOT uses. And so again, we own that fleet, we maintain it, we pay for the fuel, we replace it, but we rent that out to maintenance. So some maintenance section is gonna pay a rental rate to have that snow plow and then to drive it. And that's where our funding comes from. So we have $30 million statewide for our equipment program to purchase, repair, replace, and pay salaries for all of our equipment, personnel and equipment statewide. So that's how we're set up. So basically, I'm running 2 enterprise rent-a-car, rent-equipment companies. Basically it's a business. And we're looking at profit loss, cash balances, what do we have that we can use to replace vehicles. That's how we're set up. So I have no other funding other than what we generate from rental rates, except for we get surplus property auction stuff back. Just a little map of Montana. So you guys, not sure where we're gonna have it next year. Bozeman, Kalispell, maybe Helena. Look at those areas and see what we can do. We just passed the million people population mark in 2017. We got 147,000 square miles. We're the 4th largest state in the United States. And we maintain about 25,000 lane miles. So you can see from the map, you think of Montana as mountains, forests, lakes. That's the western third of the state. The rest of the state, 2/3 of it is actually plains, prairie. Missouri River runs through. In fact, the headwaters are down by Bozeman for the Missouri River. Really pretty area in the Missouri Breaks. Rugged, timbered, and just nobody there. So you go out and you don't see anybody for a long time, and it's just a really rugged, wild area. It's kind of fun to get out in and see. That's what our state looks like we're dealing with. We got National Park to the north up by Kalispell Glacier, and then we try to claim Yellowstone is down there south of Bozeman. It actually belongs to Wyoming, but we kind of make the claim to it sometimes too. So we've got those, so big tourist area, lots of fishing, hunting, skiing, a lot of recreation going on in Montana. I put this part at the beginning. So our completed truck, and you can see the breakdown down below, it's about $146,000. Plow, we used to do stuff to the plow, do some fab stuff on it. Anymore, we just buy the plow and the hitch and we just put it on. Completed center is about $15,000. So our plow truck costs about $174,000. We have a struggle finding a similar truck to compare to from an upfitter, and the closest we get was $260,000. Basically, we're always getting asked about why we're doing this. So we want to have something that's comparable. So this is the closest we could get. So we have about a $90,000 savings. So you can kind of see down below what we're putting in. The Freightliner gets low bid. Last few years, stainless steel dump box, mid-mount right-hand wing, Cirrus controller, Eaton 620 Repto hydraulic pump, We use a Whalen lighting package, Hinky, front plow, and then of course stainless steel sander. If you guys have technical questions, I'm probably gonna say I don't know, because I've been in this just about 9 months and I don't have all the technical stuff down, but I can tell you kind of how we do it. So why we fabricate trucks? Cost savings, about $90,000 a truck. That's huge for us. We have about $7 million we can spend on replacements. So where we can save money, any place we can do that, we're trying to do it. And that's one of my big things as a new equipment chief, is where are we gonna get money to replace aging mowers, aging loaders. Our light duty fleet is we're running 185 to 200,000 miles on our light duty fleet. We got shut down twice from buying light duty. Governor says you're not buying any. So we put it into heavy duty stuff, but we're struggling to keep up. We can incorporate innovations and parts that we want into the truck. And I think Brian mentioned this also. We can go in and we can figure out what do we want to put in this truck, how do we want to plumb it, what can we add to it, and so we can do those innovations in-house and do that. We're the experts on the truck and its operation. So we don't have to go to somebody else and say, how does this operate, how does this function, how do we repair it? We've got our guys there that know what they did to that truck, and they can tell the guys out in the field, this is how you repair it, this is how it operates. We can train them on that. And then our fleet is consistent for operators and mechanics. They can climb in a truck and they know what kind of system they have for hydraulics. They know how it's gonna operate, and our mechanics know how to fix it. We don't have to go develop a bunch of other different things to do that. So some of the innovations, and one of the things that I find out being here at this is how far behind we are in our technology and what we're doing, and how far you guys are ahead of us and what we need to do to catch up. I was told that Montana has probably never done a slideshow for this, and so if I just came with pictures, you guys would be impressed. Say, wow, Montana did this. This is one of our first bi-directional tow plows, so deploys right or left. We have 4 that are out this spring, so as soon as snow flies, we'll see how they work. We have 1 more just arrived for the next build. So this is what our tow plow truck and trailer look like. And we'll talk about some of the innovations we put into these tow trucks that are new for Montana. So Greg showed us the high-tech operator's manual. This is the low-tech operator's manual. This works for Montana. So we do basically an operations manual, and it's specifically the controller and hydraulics that we do for this. And we put one in every truck, so it's specific to that truck build. So the operator has it there, so if they've never driven this truck, they can hop in, pull out that book and say, this is how it operates. This is our tablet display, and I'll show you a picture of the cab in a little bit. This is, we run everything through Cirrus, and so on this is a touch screen, or you can operate it from a keypad. And so this sits up there, the operator can watch what they're doing, what's being used. They can run both trailer and truck off of this. They can look at what they're spreading, look at air and road temperature. They can look at, is the trailer deployed? Is the trailer blade up or down? Is the plow in float? And they can kind of monitor everything from this and make their adjustments on the fly. This is our keypad. It's a sealed keypad. They can use also. Keep dirt, crumbs, whatever from getting in the switches. And so they can run this in either truck mode or in trailer mode or in both. So right in the middle you can see that the green, blue, and red buttons. They can run those both. If they run it in the blue mode, and we call that middle button, it's programmable. They can pause, they can hit that pause and stop both sanders in the trailer and the truck. At the same time, hit pause again, turn them on. Got the blast mode, they can do that for a bridge deck if they want to drop some extra material on the bridge deck. So they can pre-program that for the amount of material and the timing on that. So this is the inside of one of our new tow plow trucks, what it looks like. You can see the heads-up display up there, the tablet we use. So we have it right there so the operator can see it as they're driving. You don't have to look away. What you can't see, and we'll look at a little bit different, is up here where the rear view mirror, usually on light duty, we have a camera display. So they can watch their blind spots. We have cameras set up for blind spots so they can watch those. See the keypad down here. We have on the bidirectional tow plows, we have dual lasers, so they can have a reference point on the highway to see where those trailers are deployed. And we have our joystick to operate all those functions: trailer, sanders, de-icer, plows, and these are all lighted buttons, so they can see them in the dark. And yellow button, the nice word is the panic button. You guys know what that's called out in the field. So they can hit that. It will raise the tow plow blade. It will tuck the tow plow back in behind the truck. It will shut off both sanders, and it will raise the wing. So all the operator has to worry about is raising that front plow or driving and getting through everything. When we got the bidirectionals, Cirrus had it programmed to pull in a tow plow from only the right. So if your tow plow is deployed to the left, it's always going left. So it took them a while to figure out how to program that to go either way. So when they hit that, whichever way it's deployed, that tow plow is now going to tuck in behind and get back in behind the operator. So that's what the inside of our cab looks like. On our new tow plows, a lot of this stuff we're using as innovations for the rest of our trucks, so that they'll have a lot of these same features in the non-tow plow trucks. So you can see this is our working shop foreman got a picture of our lasers. This is a right-hand tow plow, but that laser beam being used for a reference point on the highway, so they can tell where they're deployed and what they're going to hit with that tow plow, so where they're at. So on the bidirectionals, we've got a laser on either side of the cab, so they can go either way with it. So this is our live heads-up camera. So I talked about that display that's up there where the rear view mirror usually is. So this is set up for the back of the tow plow and in blind spots. So the operator can just check that camera, see what's going on behind him, see what's going on in his blind spots, and know what's happening there. We're using a rear camera wash, so the camera is right there. So we're using air and windshield washer fluid to keep that camera free of debris. On this one, you can see our airfoil. This is on the back of the tow plow, but we put these on the back of all our sanders. We used to fabricate that. Now we have it come with the sanders, and just to create some air in the back of that sander to keep some of the snow off, especially high up. This one, they call this the little soldier. If you remember Bugs Bunny, there's that little Roman soldier, the guy that always walked around. That's what reminds the shop guys of. So they put a little airfoil on top of this light. So that tow plow is deployed, it'll get some airflow around that light and keep some of the snow off. And you can kind of see a little bit of our lighting package on the back of our tow plow. We have a foot-controlled radio microphone in the cab of our tow plows. We're going to try to put this in all of our trucks, so the guy can just step on this and it keys his microphone on his radio, and he doesn't have to try to pick up a mic or key something on the dashboard. One of the guys didn't know what it was, had his foot on it, and so they heard everything he was saying. So you can imagine the truck drivers, somebody had to call him on his cell phone and say, "Hey, shut that thing off." So just something we're trying to do to give the drivers a little more heads up. We're installing turn signals midship on our trucks, especially in the left-hand side, so that if they're making a left-hand turn, maybe somebody's going to see that, slow down, pay attention to what's going on. One of the things I asked the vendors this year is if they had a turn signal in the side view mirrors. You see that on the light duty. To me, it made sense. Those things are sticking out. Maybe people following can see that. Mac was the only one that had it, but we've talked about maybe just doing an aftermarket turn signal down there on the bottom of the side view mirrors, just to give us a little more visibility for what we're doing out there as far as making those turns. This is kind of our lighting package that we've been dealing with. You can't see the upper flashing lights. We've got 2 upper flashing lights. We've got middle of the sander, we've got an amber LED light that's flashing. We tried white for a while, found out that we didn't go through the proper channels to get that approved, so we had to pull them all off. So we're looking at what we can do there. Rear lights, we put in a backup light or lens in there, so that if one of the rear lights fails, we've got another one, so that we have our brake lights fully lit back there, and they can see them there. This year we put in a digital pulse flash in our brake lights, so when they hit their brakes, it flashes 3 times, gives them a pulse. So maybe catch people's attention. And then we put in some low intensity flashers, so when they hit the brakes, do a stop or turn on their turn signals, the flashing lights up above dim, and the brightest lights are going to be your turn signal or your brake lights. Trying to, lights are getting so intense anymore, trying to give people a little bit of a different look to see what they're going to do. So I appreciate everybody's comments on lights. It gives me some information to take back. If all the states around us are doing something, I can go back to the legislature and say, hey, look, everybody else around us is doing this. Highway Patrol, tell them they're using blue, they're using red. Come on, guys, let's get with the program here, and let's kind of figure out something we can do to make our guys safer out there. And so this is the second to last slide. So we're doing some new halogen headlamps. Operators are complaining they can't see anything out there, and as the lenses get dirty or get aged, the light loses some of its intensity. So these are halogen headlamps and fog lamps. You can actually change out the bulbs instead of the whole lamp, and you can change intensity, so the drivers can decide what intensity they want on their headlights and set it up for themselves on this. One of the things we're always looking at is making sure they're heated, some way to keep them cleared off so that they're not losing that light. So if you have questions, you can email me, and I'll get my guys together and tell you what we're actually doing. By next year, maybe I'll know what's actually going on and can give you some more information. We sent a lot of these slides to Oregon. We had their call in, so a lot of this is stuff we did that. My working shop foreman put this together for a presentation. We're actually going to do a lot of this. We're going to video some of this and do what we call transportation talks. They put these videos out on our website, and so people can look and see what we're doing in the DOT. So, any questions that I can answer? All right, cool.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.